Hi, I'm Greg Walker. This module is called Align on Roles and Responsibilities. The direct report is the person who turns big ideas and grand visions into results. You're the one who makes things happen. That makes you the engine that drives your company forward. And that's such a great role. Because you play that role, you can make your boss look smart for picking you to take on a project. And you can make yourself look great for getting the project across the finish line. Your job description is actually pretty simple. Make the boss's vision happen. Do that consistently, and you will be what we call a high-performing direct report. A high-performing direct report is a direct report who makes a habit of making the boss look like a genius, just for standing back and letting you do your stuff. High-performing direct reports are the shortest distance between a great idea and a great execution of that idea. That's where you want to go. And you might as well learn this secret sooner rather than later. The secret is, not every direct report wants to become a high-performing direct report. It's true. There are direct reports out there who do not want to contribute at a high level. They do not want to raise their profile within the organization. They do not want to earn bigger and better rewards. They don't want to have more fun than anyone else in the company, even though they may say they want all of those things. Why the disconnect? Well, there's a lot of possible reasons, but there's one big one that always shows up. Making a high-performing contribution means taking personal responsibility for improving the relationship with the key decision maker. Making the transition from being a direct report to being a high-performing direct report means changing your game. It means changing the way you communicate. It means taking your share of responsibility for the state of the relationship with your boss. It means making the first move. It means changing the dynamic. So, now you know the big secret. Becoming a high-performing direct report, the kind who has fun, wins more notice, and gets bigger rewards than others in the organization, doesn't just happen. To become this kind of contributor, you have to think and act a little differently than most other people in the organization. Truth be told, most of the direct reports we run into are not ready to take this step. Obviously, though, that's not you. If it were, your boss would not be paying for you to be here. Now, here's an important word of warning. Doing what everybody else around you has always done is not going to get you to the high-performing level. But being open to doing things a little differently will get you there. Being open to some new approaches will also make it a lot easier for you to stand out from the crowd. Since you're here in this training program, and since your boss thinks enough of your potential to invest the company's capital in it, I'm thinking that you will not have a big problem doing things a little differently from the rest of the crowd. Now, as it turns out, there are 4 traits that a high-performing direct report really has that sets them apart from other direct reports. I have worked with literally thousands of direct reports over the years, and I can tell you with absolute certainty that the high-performing direct reports live by these 4 traits day in and day out. The first non-negotiable trait of high-performing direct reports is integrity. That means your words and actions are integrated with your highest values, and vice versa. High-performing direct reports don't say one thing and then turn around and do something that's in conflict with what they've just said. Even if they think no one is looking, they are people of integrity. Now, there's something very interesting about this trait of integrity. If you ask 50 people in any company whether they consider themselves to be people of integrity, at least 49 of them will say yes. But if you spend a day in that same enterprise, you will find most of those 49 people are doing things that don't match up with this concept of integrity. So how do we explain this? Well, anyone who talks about being a person of integrity and then gossips about others, or sabotages someone else's work because of a personal rivalry, or tells lies about what they've done or what they intend to do, has what we call an alignment problem. That's what integrity really boils down to. Being in full alignment with your best values. When you are a person of integrity, your words and your deeds and your values are all in alignment. What does this alignment mean in real life? It means accepting full accountability for everything you do and say and commit to. It means not looking for excuses. It means not criticizing other people behind their backs and not doing that to your boss. And it means telling the truth. Full integrity also means no gossip games. You know what those are. If there are other people in your company who entertain themselves by putting down other people when they're not around, that's a gossip game. Full integrity means disengaging from that conversation. Full integrity also means that if you have a problem with someone, you meet with that person one-on-one to work out the problem and improve the relationship. Again, that specifically includes your boss. High-performing direct reports always operate from a foundation of integrity. The second trait is avoiding the blame game. High-performing direct reports don't have time for the blame game. Now, this blame game is easy to play. Worse yet, it's habit-forming. So I realize this one may take some practice. But practice is why you're here. The important thing now is that you should want to move away from the blame game. Let me explain why. In any mutually supportive relationship, we may have very strong feelings about what we feel are the mistakes the other person has made. We may resent something we think the other person has done or left undone. And you know what? We have a right and an obligation to share those feelings appropriately with the other person. But crossing the line into blame means that we poison the well that both people need to drink from. Sometimes key decision makers start a cycle of blame in the relationship. They say, in so many words, I blame you, not your actions, but you as an individual for A, B, and C. And the direct report feels hurt by that. And then finds a way to continue that cycle. Maybe by telling the key decision maker face to face, guess what? I blame you for D, E, and F. But more likely in other ways that can hurt the relationship. Like, for instance, talking to others about what they blame the key decision maker for, instead of working it out in person with the one who can fix the problem. Now, I can't lie to you. I have to acknowledge reality here. In private companies, especially ones that are in their early growth stages, it's much more common for the key decision maker to start the blame game than it is for the direct report to start it. That's the reality. But every single high-performing direct report I've ever met has mastered the art of moving past the blame game. That's reality too. Here's the amazing part. In many cases, those high-performing direct reports were able to lead by example, and in a very subtle way, model the right behaviors for their key decision maker. That's how you help a boss who needs to get past an addiction to the blame game. Right now, that may seem like something you'll never be able to do. But I am here to tell you that you can learn to do it, and you will learn to do it by successfully completing this training, just as thousands of other direct reports have. For now, just remember this. High-performing direct reports always step away from the blame game because they don't have time for the toxic me versus you or us versus them mentality that it leads to. The third is high-performing direct reports who show exceptional proactivity. That means they like to make the first move. They take the initiative, both in terms of specific projects and in terms of their relationships with other people. They don't wait for things to happen. They make things happen. Most of the direct reports we work with have begun to master this trait. Some of them even think they have completely mastered it. But you know what? They haven't. Now, the fact that you're watching this video tells me that this proactivity concept is not new to you. Most direct reports who take this training are proactive in some areas. But the challenge is, a lot of direct reports think proactivity applies only to their own projects. They haven't yet taken the step of being proactive with the key decision maker. That kind of proactivity might mean putting new items on the agenda. Or it might mean addressing and readdressing sensitive points. Points that the key decision maker doesn't necessarily want to deal with, but needs to deal with. Or it might mean lobbying for new responsibilities. Now, we find that a lot of direct reports are very good at being proactive when it comes to getting things crossed off their own to-do list. What we're going to show you in this training is how to be more proactive at putting the right things on your boss's to-do list. Now, don't worry. We're not here to tell you that you have to pull power plays on your boss. That's not what this kind of proactivity is all about. What it's about is spotting new opportunities, raising new topics for discussion, and making requests for guidance in critical areas. Again and again during this training, you will hear about ways that you can develop the skill of tactfully, assertively engaging with your boss on areas of mutual concern. That's what high-performing direct reports do. They don't just take instructions. They start a dialogue. The fourth and final trait that high-performing direct reports live by is spotting win-win outcomes. These are opportunities that help the company, help the key decision maker, and of course help the direct report. Actually, that's 3 wins, but you get the idea. Without exception, high-performing direct reports seek out new opportunities. These are opportunities that support the boss's vision and push their own careers in the direction they want to go. So you're not just out to show that you can make any contribution. You're out to show that you can make contributions that get you and your boss closer to achieving your goals. First, understand the key decision maker's personal vision for his or her own work role. Second, identify duty gaps, responsibilities that you can fulfill so as to free up the key decision maker's time. Third, help your key decision maker create his or her own job description. Remember, this will require tact and diplomacy. Fourth, help the key decision maker turn the knowledge in his or her head into standardized written protocols and processes. Fifth, help the key decision maker measure results from the company's capital investments. And finally, sixth, offer the key decision maker honest feedback. Those are the big 6. And in this module, you will learn all about them. These 6 outcomes are worth studying closely because they are the classic win-win outcomes that will start you on the journey from direct report to high-impact direct report. I remember being at the beginning of this journey myself, and I have to say, the moment I took the initiative and assumed personal responsibility for becoming a high-performing direct report was the beginning of the most exciting period of my career. I know the journey can be just as exciting for you too, and I look forward to coaching you every step of the way. See you next month. And remember, alignment is a way of life.